looking at what you've seen so far, a very raucous complaint from Twitter, as well as what we've heard from Elon Musk to this point. Of course, he's been very prolific on Twitter itself. Who's got a better case?
Based on what I've seen so far, I'll side with Twitter, but that it's early in the day. I've seen from Musk's lawyers their principal contentions about why Musk is entitled to walk away. I've now read Twitter's complaint, and it's pretty clear that there's more to the story once Twitter tells it. That suggests to me that Musk's arguments are going to be tough. I mean, I can go into detail, but that's the overall view I've got.
How significant is the judge fast-tracking this suit?
I wouldn't. Well, first of all, it's absolutely standard when someone asks for a trial in a couple months for the judge to hear that question of scheduling pretty much right away. I mean, sometimes the same day. So Tuesday is kind of leisurely for something like this. The real question is what's going to happen on Tuesday, and is the judge going to schedule a trial in September, as Twitter has asked, or is Musk going to come in with guns blazing, with a filing that says, you shouldn't try this case with any kind of speed or unusual speed. You're never going to make me have to go through with a deal, so there's no rush. We haven't seen Musk's filing in opposition to Twitter's request for speed, but it'll be in, I would guess, by Monday, and we'll know more then. I still would think the judge would set the case down for trial sometime in the fall, maybe even maybe even late summer.
Right. When does Musk not come in guns blazing?
Well, he's got a big arsenal, I'll tell you that.
Well, so are you saying there that you think this could be wrapped up in the fall? I mean, we just heard Jasmine Enberg predict this is going to be a long and drawn-out court battle, but maybe it won't be as long as we think?
Well, it'll be drawn out, and it's going to seem long, but it's possible that it could be over by the fall, late fall, certainly. That's not an unusual kind of a pace for the Delaware Court of Chancery in handling disputes involving busted deals.
So how likely is it that a court will force Elon Musk to do this deal? I know it is fairly unprecedented, but there is some precedent.
There certainly is some precedent. And in fact, the chancellor who's going to be hearing the case did it herself within the last couple of years for a much smaller and less notorious company. But it's a remedy that has been used, forcing the buyer to go forward. But and I can also say that the merger agreement between Musk and Twitter is pretty strong in suggesting that that's what the court would need to do. But it's a judge, it's a chancellor. I think they value their flexibility and discretion in deciding what remedy is appropriate. And I could see the chancellor saying, forcing Musk to go through with this deal is not necessarily a good idea for the world. And people will be better off if I find some other way to enforce or apply sanctions for noncompliance with the agreement, if that's what she finds.
How could the court force Musk to buy Twitter? Do you see a daily fine, for example? Do you see going after his assets, going after his Tesla shares?
Yeah, I mean, those would be the natural go-tos. People have asked me in the course of the week, well, what about imprisonment? And I kind of don't think it's in the cards, but daily fines, I suppose you could call it the usual stuff if someone is in contempt. We're, of course, a long way away from that. There's got to be a judgment, and Musk would have to find an appropriate response. And if a court orders you to go forward with a deal, I could see even Elon Musk settling it.
And if he is forced to buy it, could he then turn right around and sell it? What are the legal issues there?
I think once he's a buyer and finishes the acquisition, it's his company. I won't say to do with what he wishes, but whatever governance powers he's got over the company, he can use to seek new investors, sell off a significant stake, or just continue to run it as a buyer.
Interesting. Now, I want to talk about who wins in any of these scenarios. We were speaking with Jason Goldman one of the early members of the Twitter founding team, who said nobody wins except the lawyers. Take a listen to what he has to say.
Definitely the lawyers win. The lawyers are excited when they describe a case as being unprecedented and complicated. That's definitely code for there's going to be unprecedented legal fees. So they're set. Everyone else is a loser in this for sure.
So look, Larry, no matter the outcome, is this going to be any good for Twitter or Elon Musk in the end?
Well, Jasmine Edberg said something before that I thought was right on the money. No matter what happens, the longer this drags out, the worse it is for Twitter. Elon Musk is sitting on the sidelines right now looking at Twitter, and he doesn't have to do anything at the moment except litigate. And certainly he's got the resources to pay the lawyers to do that. Twitter's the party here that's got to deal with running a business while all these fireworks are going off all around. And as I've told people from time to time this week, that's not an enviable negotiating position. So, there is a victory scenario, I suppose, for Twitter, but there are a lot of things can go wrong for everybody, for sure.
How much will Musk's own record be used against him? He's got a history with the SEC. He didn't disclose his initial Twitter shares the way he should have. He's had problems with other regulatory agencies over the course of just the last few months. Will that come into play?
I think at best, atmospherically, the court in a case like this is going to focus like a laser on the terms of the merger agreement. If this case is going to get decided after a trial of 4 days or 6 days or whatever, it's still going to have to be pretty focused. And I would think you're not going to hear a whole lot about these peripheral things, what Musk has done. It's not as if the chancellor is unaware of some of the color here, but I wouldn't expect the parties to focus on it.